Hey everybody, it's X, and welcome back to another premiere draft of the best set of the year. It's some more Final Fantasy. Today we've got a great pack one here with a lot of places to go, but I'm just going to go with Squall, Seed Mercenary. Super strong card, does push us into a specific two-color deck, having to play black and white to really cast him, but he's super strong, just getting double strike swings off of any lone attacks that you do. And if he manages to make that attack, you get to reanimate some of your cheap permanents from your graveyard. So really, really strong card and a great way to start the draft. If you're a little hesitant to take a gold card, pack one, pick one, and you want to keep things more open, there are options for you here as well. We have Thunder Magic for a great flexible removal spell. Resentful Revelation is a card draw spell that has overperformed massively. Putting cards into your graveyard is actually just straight value in this set. There are flashback abilities, there's cards that care about the number of cards in your graveyard, and there are reanimation effects. So being able to cast this twice throughout the game is super, super good. And then Sir Conrad is probably the best of the monocolored creatures there. Pick two, what do we want here? Something that goes well with Squall, ideally, and Cornered by Black Mages is one of the strongest cards in this pack, and it fits into a deck with Squall, as it is the same color. Slash of Light is certainly a lot more narrow. You really want a lot of the job select equipment in order for this to be able to consistently be used against bigger creatures. Whereas this, you can just play it pretty much any time. The only issue with this card is the restrictive mana cost. Double black is a bit difficult. Sometimes you'll be stuck off of two swamps, just beyond one swamp there. Yeah, this is a pretty easy corner by Black Mages. Other good cards here like Traverse the Overworld, Call the Mountain Chocobo, but those are very far from Squall. Pick three, Delivery Moogle is a fantastic card. One of my favorite uncommons. I'm pretty partial to all the job select equipment, and this card synergizes incredibly well with them, being able to tutor for any of your 2-mana equipments and put them into your hand. Technically, any 2-mana artifact can be searched for off the Delivery Moogle, which does matter if you're in like blue-white. There's some 2-mana blue artifact creatures, but for the most part, this is just grabbing a job select equipment, slapping that thing on the board. Pick number four. There's Cypher, the yin to Squall's yang, the other creature with the exact same double strike ability, sort of his rival within the Final Fantasy VIII story. Very cool card. It would be pretty cool if we could play a deck with Squall and Cypher, but we'd have to toy around with a lot of fixing to be able to do that, which does hinder our deck a lot if it's trying to be a pretty aggressive deck, and I think a deck with Squall or a deck with Cypher would generally be trying to be quite aggressive, so it's a little risky. That said, the on-color cards, Restoration Magic and Marlborough, are certainly good, but they're not absolute bangers. It's not insane to go for a speculative pick here and just take the Cypher anyway. I think I'm gonna do that. Like, if we get pushed off of white or something, Cypher, like, recasting a Cornered by Black Mages off of the attack trigger is super, super nasty. Although I suppose they wouldn't really have any creatures on board if we're getting the attack through. But still, I like the idea of Cypher in, like, a Rakdos deck, if that's a backup plan to have here. Pick number five, very mediocre pack overall. The best card is Sid, and obviously we're pretty far from, like, blue-white artifacts and job select equipment, but I guess we take that as a backup. I'm not super high on Paladin's Arm. It's going to be a solid filler if we do end up in white, but I think there should be plenty more solid filler. We don't need to lock in yet. I'll just keep taking the strongest card in the pack for a little bit longer here. We will have to lock in pretty early in pack 2 though, but since we've stayed open, that's a pick 6 Thunder Magic here as one of the best cards in this pack. It's also a pick 6 Magitech Infantry and Resentful Revelation. Those are very solid cards as well. The infantry, you really need to get duplicates for it to play well. You need multiples, but it's super, super good when you get there. It does play well with Delivery Moogle, right? If we draw the Moogle before we draw any of our infantries, we can have the Moogle tutor for the Magitech Infantry and then have that infantry search for the rest of them, spit out a whole army. And we have 3 different white cards. If we're black-white, blue-white, red-white, infantry feels like the most likely to end up in the deck just because white is looking like the most likely color. It's a pick 7 Katana. Yeah, red seems pretty open, although we did just pass a really late Thunder Magic there, but pick 7 Katana is pretty wild. This is the second best of the uncommon equipment in the whole set. 3 mana, 3/3 trample haste. That re-equip is a lot of mana, but it's a huge buff later in the game, giving anybody +2/+2 trample, even if the haste isn't relevant, because again, 5 mana, you're unlikely to cast a creature and spend 5 to equip in the same turn. But +2/+2 trample late game is pretty huge. So I'm going to take Katana here. Card is super, super good. The best uncommon equipment in the whole set is the white one, Dragoon's Lance. It's a 2 mana, 2/1 flyer, and you re-equip for 4 in the late game for +1/+0 on flying. +1/+0 flying just a little better than trample at getting that late game damage in, and the 2 mana, 2/1 flyer is pretty comparable to a 3 mana, 3/3 trample haste in terms of initial card quality. That was a really easy Match Tech Infantry here, as pick 9 is a really easy Resentful Revelation. Suppose we could take Insomnia here. Maybe Boros, Splash, and Squall could be the direction. But this is a late Revelation. I mean, red, white, and black have been kind of the most open-looking colors here, which is interesting. I mean, Sid is definitely not going to be a thing. Katana and Cypher, I don't... I feel pretty glued to red. I feel more glued to red than black at this rate, even if I had a Revelation in this pile. So I'm going to go for the Insomnia here for the speculative fixing. For the chance to be like Boros and maybe splash in a Squall. Again, just because getting a Cypher and Squall in the same deck would be very cool. Be very neat. Restoration Magic came back around pick 12. Good sign for white. Both of the filler white cards loop back around. Another good sign for whites. And pick 14, Resentful Revelation. Okay, a good sign for black as well. So all three of these colors are looking just awesome. Well, we could have Rufus, Shinra, and Squall here in black-white, which is pretty insane. Arden is ridiculously powerful. The problem is you have to be able to cast him. And black-white and red-black are not going to consistently hit 8 mana. Arden is ridiculously powerful in green-black, where you have ways to ramp up into him, but trying to hardcast an 8-drop in a relatively aggressive strategy, like black-white or red-black or something, I just don't think is a reasonable plan. Judging by how open the colors have been, we could try to wheel Rufus Shinra. We still don't have basically any removal. People seem to be taking it really highly in this pod. Well, that's not true. There were a lot of red removal spells we passed. But we could take Sephiroth's Intervention here to make sure we have some removal. I think I go Sephiroth's Intervention here. As strong as Arden is, I think it's easy to take Intervention over Rufus. Taking it over Arden is the big question there. That's the big debate in that pack. Pack 2, pick 2. This pack looks very mediocre. I mean, it's mediocre for us. It's a pretty good pack for the blue and the green players. Fenrir, Card Collection, Town Greeter, and Ice Magic are all very nice pickups. But those are the two colors we're not playing. The on-color cards are all quite mediocre here. Just pretty slow and expensive, like the ATM and the Fragments. The Light of Judgment, or just super dirty, like the Cat or the Magic Pot. I guess I just, like, take the Cat here. Just some cheap creature to maybe reanimate with Squall if we're Orzhov. Pick 3, Circle of Power is quite nice. And we're not seeing the red here, so this pushes us back again towards that Orzhov potential. Weapons Vendor's pretty good too. We've got multiple drop select equipment. This is going to let us re-equip our Paladin's Arms for only 1, our Katana for only 1 if we end up with red at the core. Although again, this pack has been looking more towards the black so far, especially if we wheel Shinra. Yeah, I'm going to take the Circle of Power here. Pick 4. Ash with a high enough artifact count is decent. Demon Wall's pretty slow. We're on 5 artifacts right now. That is not quite there, especially when one of them is a red one. But I am likely to take more artifacts highly, and I'm really just speculating over a sword for a red speculation, or Rescue Mission, Demon Wall Trader. Those are all just filler enough to see if we can get an Ash going well. Pick 5. Yeah, this is really the Orzhov pack. There is no red getting past us. It's probably because of all those Thunder Magics we passed to the players on our left. Got an Undercity Dire Rat here. I think we take that for mana curve purposes. If you look at where our mana costs are, we really need 2 mana creatures. It's pretty comparable to the Ahriman. Maybe like a tiny bit weaker at face value, but getting enough 2 mana creatures is really important. Especially with Squall wanting a lot of 3 mana value less stuff. We want to consistently trade early. I like the Cat more than the Ahriman in decks that have a lot of equipment and just artifacts in general. I don't really want to play multiple copies of Restoration Magic. It's the kind of card you never want to draw 2 copies in the hand, really. And Poison the Waters is just way too high variance for me, way too gambly for me. This card is either quite good or completely useless, depending on when you draw it and what's in your opponent's hand. It's a really bad top deck in the late game, but it's a pretty great card to have in your opening hand. It's just too high variance for me. Here's a Vector, which helps splash in a Cipher. I'm into that. The rest of the pack is pretty weak. Town Greeter's the best card here. Yeah, pack 2 has been certainly more awkward than pack 1. Although pick 8 Treachery and Infantry, that one's pretty good. So how's the removal looking? We have Cornered by Black Mages. We did take a Sephiroth's Intervention as well, which helped. But that's still only 2 removal spells. Could see the argument for Vane's Treachery, but Magitech Infantry is the kind of card that just gets better and better and better the more copies you have, so would take a really, really good spell for me to not just take an Infantry here. Pick 9, another Cat. Phoenix Down isn't the worst thing in the universe when you have premium 4-mana creatures like Squall and Delivery Moogle that are great to reanimate with it, but it can just sit there stuck on your board for a while. I had a deck where I played it, and my opponent just suplexed everything I did, and then White Aura sided the next card, and I'm just sitting with a Phoenix Down that was basically a mulligan because all their removal exiled. So there are some rough scenarios potentially for the Phoenix Down as well. Oh, nice late Weapons Bender. 2 equipment right now. I don't mind it over the Shinra Reinforcements. Take a Trader here. Might take gems. I already have 3 4-drops. Yeah, this is so likely to get cut. I'll take 20 gems. Alright, pack 3. What do we got here? Adelbert Steiner. Pretty nice. 2 mana, 2/1 lifelink that only gets better the longer the game goes on, the more equipment you play, like Black Mage's Rod and stuff. Get some of those. I like the Adelbert here. It's also a flesh creature. It is an actual creature, not a creature token, so it can end up in our grave for our Squall. Come on in, Adelbert. Pick number 2, Squall theme deck, Squall Leonhardt and Squall Seed Mercenary. We don't actually have enough equipment with only 2 of them to make Squall super good, but you can't deny the flavor. We'll go Squall theme deck. Pack 3, pick 3. No job select equipment. Those are what we are looking for the absolute most out of every pack from now on. Probably just take Stiltskin here. We don't have any really good combos with Stiltskin, but you can give your opponent like a Paladin's Arms, and then it'll stay equipped to your creature until they spend another 4 to re-equip it. So there are scenarios where that works out. And the other options, again, are all pretty filler. Like Malro's probably the best one, but there's like a Chocomog too. Like Stiltskin, in my opinion, is also pretty filler, but what are you going to do? Pick number 4. Man, we're getting cut each pack, it feels like. Or these packs are just pretty dang weak here in the end, which is unfortunate. Just take a Chocomog out of this one. Got 2 lands in the deck right now. That's 24 non-land cards. This is basically the deck here. Another Dire Rat is pretty good. Do prefer the treasure token over the 1/1, I think. Especially if we are splashing in a red card here. Yeah, treasure token off death trigger is pretty great. I have 3 artifact creatures in here, so I've got 5. I've got 21 minus 3, so I have 18 cards that we could hit off of the Catch a Fish. If you get up to like 20, this card's actually decent. We're at like 18. Because the infantries are getting counted as creatures and artifacts, I have to add up the artifact and creature count and then subtract 3. So, 17 plus 5, 22 minus 3. Hey! Why did you have to show up in the same pack as Dragoons, Lance? Oh my god. We're going for fun today. I think if this were an arena open, if you're playing as competitively as possible, you stick to pure Orzhov and you take Dragoon's Lance here. Dragoon's Lance is just way too strong to pass up on. It's really good with our delivery Moogle, quite good with our weapons vendor, our Squall. It's one of the best 2-drops you can have in white in general. But this is just a premier draft for fun, so let's just do the triple Squall deck. It's very funny. It's very funny. Take another weapons vendor, although the weapons vendors are getting really awkward considering we just passed up on another equipment, so we just have 2 in the whole deck. It's more likely to get played than Aerith Rescue Mission, but at this point it looks like it will probably get cut. Well, we did wheel a Black Mage's Rod, which helps all the equipment nonsense here. Now a cat. Probably have to cut some cats. Our artifact count isn't great. What I do like about the artifact count is that because we have the... I'm not going to play 3 cats here. Just rare draft. Okay, so I don't like the artifact count here. The number of artifacts we have isn't great for the cats, but 3 of them are Magitech infantries. If we draw any Magitech infantry, then we know that if we just don't send them in, we just hold them up on blocks, kind of, we can get 2 artifacts on board off of just drawing a single Magitech infantry naturally, which helps activate all of the cats. That said, again, it is still a low artifact count for the cats, 6. Although we do have treasure tokens if the rats die, which also helps. Man, I don't even have a lot of instant sorceries that Cypher can recast. It has to be mana value 3 or less. We've got a Corner by Black Mages, a Fight On, and a Revelation, really. Restoration Magic, after we've already hit them with a Cypher, doesn't really do anything. Yeah, that's awkward. Cypher Splash is probably not worth it, as cool as it is flavor-wise, have the rivals all together, but I don't think we're doing that here. Creature count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22? 22 minus 5 is still 17 creatures. The average, somewhat aggressive deck is like 15 to 17 creatures in draft. That is the usual number that I default to if I'm not doing something crazy, like some deck that really wants literally all creatures, or something that's relatively controlling that can play a lower count. This is a very average draft deck, so I think it falls into that 15 to 17 count, so a really easy rule of thumb to use here. Just cut 5 creatures and be on 17 creatures in this deck. For mana curve purposes, I'm tempted to leave these cats in, but I think they are worst of our 2 mana cards. At 3 mana, we have 4 3-mana cards that I think are all probably better than Gala Cat. Maybe not Ash, because Ash has similar problems as the Gala Cat, where our low artifact count dampers it significantly. The weapons vendor, there are literally 3 equipment in the whole deck. Probably some of the first cuts. 4 mana 2/2 draw card is not quite there. You do kind of need to get the extra value off of the weapons vendor to make it worth it in most strategies. We've had 4 mana 2/2s that draw a card when they enter with no text in a lot of previous draft formats, and they've never been quite good enough. There has to be some extra benefits. I think the main one that comes to mind is like back in Kaladesh Remastered. A blue and 3 2/2 enters draw card. It's like technically a 2-for-1, but just a little too cost inefficient. Yeah, it's some combination of these 5, I think, getting cut. I guess Chocomog plays decently with double Squall. It's a creature that sacks itself. If I cut these flying cats, then I have like 1 flyer in the entire deck. Didn't take a Dragoon's Lance here because it was too funny to be on triple Squall. I'm definitely cutting the weapons vendors. I guess I'll keep one of the Galacats. Just want flyers in here. 4 2-mana creatures is definitely a little low for aggro, but when you account for the fact that we also have 7 1-mana creatures, I think that's fine. Because a lot of draft aggro decks are going to be like no 1-mana cards and then 7 2-mana cards is how they get started. So if you have like a big pile of ones, you can kind of make up for a slightly lower amount of 2-mana creatures. See, I think this is fine. Again, not ideal. We made some decisions in the draft that were more funny than anything. I think also taking the Danitha Squall was probably not the best card out of that pack either, but we get to go for the full Squall theme deck here. We just got done with all of the arena directs where I had to do the absolute most competitive thing at all times, trying to maximize value, trying to win those 2 collector boxes that we did end up winning. So this time around, we've done a few things that certainly weren't ideal, but are fun and cool stuff that hopefully can lead to some interesting plays and some fun characters hitting the board here. So decent looking deck here. Could certainly be better, could certainly be worse, but nice average one here that could really go either way. I think this one probably averages around the 4-3, so we could hit a bad run, get an 0-3. We could hit a great run, get a 7-2. We'll have to see where it all ends up for us as we hop into the gameplay. All right, here we are on the play for game 1, and this is a great start, getting the infantry down turn 1, followed by a 2-mana artifact to just beat in for 2. I guess beat down, beat in. I don't know. Hit for 2, they're down to 18. Blue-red. One of the spells decks. I get 1 more power putting Paladin's Arms on the board, but I generally just like to maximize infantry value as early as possible. And then just have a whole hand left with threats to keep playing later in the game. One of the big benefits of the infantry, you get to keep putting pressure on your opponent and then make sure that you have plenty left over when the dust settles. The other benefit here to holding off on Paladin's Arms is if we cast it post Circle of Power, we can get another Black Mage ping off of it, which is fun. Although, again, if we just play it earlier, then we just get 3 damage instead of 2 damage anyway. So that's not the biggest argument in the world. Shantaro here is awkward for us. It's going to make our attacks a lot rougher once they have mana up. Because then they can just block and cast pretty much any spell and make her big enough to eat one of our creatures. So they could just like pass here and then flash back the Dreams of Laguna on blocks so that Shantaro is a 4 power creature and they draw a card. But they're just going to make a 3-3 here, draw the card right now. So we know Shantaro is not going to be blocking well. They're down to 9. We have double Black Mage on this board and 2 non-creature spells in the hand. They'd have to kill both infantries to stop me from getting the 3rd at this rate. So let's start getting the Paladin's Arms pings and going really wide here. That way I'm just like 1 wide attack from lethaling our opponent. So get another ping for 2. If I can just get 5 damage through, just like 2 of these creatures, we could win. So that's 3 blockers. They block the 4-3, the 3-2, the 2-2. We get 2 damage in. Not quite enough yet. I put a stop in the upkeep, so I could activate an infantry in the upkeep before the draw step if I was worried about top decking it. But I think it's relevant to have the mana up in case I hit something else. So if I attack all here, they have 1 blue mana up. They kill probably 3 of our creatures. Well, I guess 1 mana instant, not the most likely. Okay, they kill 2 of our creatures. Kill Adelbert. Well, I guess he'll be 4 toughness. Burden of 3-2. At best, they kill Adelbert and a 3-2, and then maybe this. Take 4. They get ping for 2, so they're at 5 here. They go to 1 life. We'll still have a wizard token and a Black Mage's Rod. Yeah, we send it. We got a Paladin's Arms pre-combat, though. Actually, if they don't have a 1 blue mana instant, or in fact, even if they do, we might lethal them by putting the rod on this 1/1. Because then go block, block, sorry, block, block, block. I'm so bad at math right now. I'm still waking up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm so sorry, opponent. 3, 4, 5. If there are 6 attacking creatures, by moving the rod over, they block Adelbert. They block the 3/2. They block one of the 2/1s. They take 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 damage either way. It's 4 damage either way. So don't attack with the wizard. Right? It's 4 damage either way. If I had 1 more mana and I can move this Paladin's Arms, I could lethal this turn. But I can't. Uh-oh. 1 blue mana instant. Kill this here. There's not a lot of those. Woo! Alright, that's really good. They also get to kill the Adelbert. Okay. Still down to 1. We still have 2 different black mages. We have a black mage and the rod I can put on any creature that manages to stick around. So if we don't get board wiped, if I draw any non-creature spell, they're dead. They're blue-red, so they shouldn't have lifelink anywhere. Alright, draw another card. Great stuff from Shantotto. And they're just going to concede there. They're already dead on board. Alright, that is 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are on the play for game 2. We've got a rat on turn 2 to start the mana curve. Then a little gap till our delivery Moogle on 4. Another black deck from our opponent. See if we hit the mirror match. Double black, mono black for now. No 3-drop was drawn this game, so not the most aggressive start, but kind of balances out. Our opponent didn't have a 2-mana play, so we're both a little slow starting here. They are blue-black, cornered by black mages. All good with me. Get a little treasure token for later. Can use that to protect my flyer, my delivery Moogle here. Or I could cast the infantry immediately. That doesn't feel right to me. Yeah, I think I need to just hold on to this treasure over slam dunking an infantry out and not having restoration magic up. They have double cornered by black mages. It's obviously pretty sad. But that is a fantastic start to pretty much any game. Just doubling up the black mages can get hard to beat that early when they're doing it off with just removal spells. So luckily none of that. So yeah, there were 2 options here. We play around like all of the targeted removal by holding up restoration magic, or we actually do play around cornered by black mages by playing the infantry. I wasn't even thinking of that. The fact that infantry does play around 1 removal spell, it plays around the black mages, means it probably was fine to play that instead that turn. Okay, I definitely want a circle of power before I cast all these non-creatures, ideally. So I guess an infantry and a circle of power seems like a pretty reasonable turn. Ooh, the cat is going to be good here. With the infantries to make sure we have enough artifacts, plus a paladin's arms. Solid start here. We are against blue-black, which can be a relatively controlling color pair with a lot of interaction, which is why I really like holding up this restoration magic at all potential times. I think I have to ditch a land here. It's rough. The land is genuine value, but But these spells are just really, really nice. I only get to 1 spell a turn if I ditch a land. I guess thanks to the treasure token, if I don't have to restoration magic, I can still go like Cat Arms or one of these and activate an infantry. Yeah, I mean, losing the land is genuinely painful here, because a guaranteed 6 mana next turn without the treasure would be very viable. Very valuable. Surveil 2 from our opponent, milling a couple lands. Some good work from Namazu Trader. Checked. Alright, we're gonna have to blow him up. So this will be Sephiroth's intervention. Hold up the restoration magic, most likely. Well, draw a Stiltskin, I can play that instead. Yeah, I need to just kill Jack while they're tapped out, and we don't have to worry about Syncopate or Cornered by Leviathans or Magic Damper or just a laundry list of blue spells they could have to protect their bomb. It's going well. I mean, just play a single flyer and protect it the whole game is enough to win over time. Combat tutorial, very nice. Draw 2, and now the trader's a 4/5. They're down to 10 now, so attacking with the trader is going to get riskier and riskier for them. Opening up the floodgates on the ground. Not that we have too many ground creatures, just 3 damage potentially, but it is still a concern. Yeah, they're just going to pass through, no attacks. Two mana up from our opponent. Yep, this is what happens when you don't activate infantry for a very long time. You do expect to draw another at some point. Which is actually fine this game. We can play a cat and infantry and still have restoration magic up. We're definitely playing cat here, just trying to kill them with flyers. Cast this. 4 mana up afterward. But it needs to be it's all white spells in hand. So if I cast this, I only cast one other spell without cracking the treasure. And I obviously cast this. I guess since I only cast one other spell, I might as well cast Kira and gain the life. Because holding up more black mana doesn't do anything for me except let me use Stiltskin, and there's nothing I want to give them with Stiltskin right now. Stiltskin's just there, like, if they resolve a removal spell during their turn, I could give them whatever's gonna die anyway. Cats. Now that I don't have the restoration match to hold up, I kind of want to just play another infantry here. They're down to 6. More threats on board. Go wide on the ground here. Maybe I just start donating Magitech infantries with Stiltskin. Salvagers, if they don't immediately die, that does drain me for a life whenever one of their cards dies, which will put them to not dead to the flyers. But I do have Paladin's Arms to ping them for that 1 damage they just gained here. Make sure that I still have lethal in the sky. Also, this aggressive attack means I actually do get to potentially poke for a couple damage on the ground. Alright, yeah, there's the concession from our opponent. Probably didn't have a removal spell, so they're just dead on board already. 6 in the sky, and one of these ground creatures gets in. The Salvagers doesn't trigger until they're already dead, so they wouldn't gain any life back from killing one of these, and that is going to be 2-0 heading into Game 3. Here we are now on the draw for Game 3. This is certainly a keep. We do need to hit some lands, but that's true in basically any game. Lead with the infantry here. I'm not going to activate Stiltskin for a million years. And I got some 2-mana artifacts I could draw into to start beating down for 2. No! Worst draw on the deck has arrived. Do I want a Restoration Magic and Infantry? Probably not, but I guess I leave that open. Oh wait, no, I just cast both the 1-drops. I'm done. Disregard. We're playing against the blue-red deck, and they have the best start for that archetype. They have a lot of 4-mana value and higher non-creature spells, and a lot of cards that trigger off of them. Sahagin, the best common one. Card is very, very strong. 2 mana for a 1/3, but because you're running a lot of 4-mana value or higher non-creature spells in your deck, this card fights well above its mana cost pretty quickly. Really easy to get it to be a 2/4 at least, and often gets much larger. And it's unblockable every time it triggers as well, so it's a good way to get the last few points of damage in. Okay. This looks like a bad matchup. 1/3 into 1/4. We are not doing anything with Magitech Infantries against this deck, that's for sure. Suppose I can drop Ash here. Which, since we're on the draw, unfortunately they're going to have 4 mana up by the time I attack in with her, which means they could trigger Sahagin on my first Ash attack and just block a 3/2 with a 2/4. So that does not line up well. But nothing else in our hand does. It's the best play here, I think. So I probably need to send in Ash and cast Restoration Magic here and hope to draw some cards, but this looks like a bad matchup here. I'm not sure how we're getting through. That's embarrassing. That's cheaper than 3 mana. Now it's 1 mana instead of 3. The double block, do they not have the spell? I guess I forced them to have the spell here. We'll see. They just syncopate for 4, and then this is an incredible turn for them. They have that. They don't have the 4 mana value spell. We get the kill on Sahagin. That was incredibly surprising. Oh, they've Swallowed by Leviathan, which I could just afford. That's funny. Well, that turn went a lot better than I thought it would. We're still not in a great spot. Our infantries are still completely useless, and that's basically all we have right now. But our opponent's stuck on mana, and Squall is quite useful. I am not casting Squall into 4 open mana, including some blue, though. So let's get the Ash attack again and see if they want to expend anything to try to kill her and stop us from drawing more cards here. I guess Stiltskin can attack too, but then I don't have the option of activating Stiltskin if I don't want to cast Squall here. Well, rough hit there. Alright, they're not going to cast anything on Ash, so I'm not going to cast Squall. Let's just play the Rod. Would you like to syncopate a Black Mage's Rod? No. Would you like to syncopate an infantry? Again, with how kind of useless they are against Sentinel, I'm just not going to cast this when I can hold up Stiltskin instead around a sorcery speed removal. Like if they want to suplex Ash here or something. And our deck just gets blanked by a 1/4. This is embarrassing. Alright. I kind of force removal now, moving the Black Mage's Rod over. It's the best I have up against a bunch of open mana. Don't want to cast a great 4-drop right now. Until they cast like Call the Mountain Chocobo or something, sorcery speed. No! Squall number 2! How many artifacts do I have left in my deck? I kind of drew like 5 of them here, which makes Ash awkward. I have 1 Paladin's Arm still in there, which is pretty much guaranteed to get hit on the next one, because we'll have done 15 cards towards it. Counter an infantry. I will be the world's happiest camper if you counter an infantry. Okay, just a draw spell. Fair enough. I mean, the board's getting wide enough. We can start chump attacking with infantries. I'm basically just like sack a creature to deal 5. No! Esperama. Well, they don't have counter magic up now. So... it's squalling time. Feels like it. Yeah, I mean, Squall makes the infantries actually useful, which is important. And they actually hit for 4 or trade, instead of doing literally nothing. Man, they killed Ash right before she finally found the last artifact. There's Call the Mountain Chocobo. I knew it existed. They might have Syncopate for 1 as the only counter magic to worry about, which I can afford. However, if I cast Circle of Power, I don't get to equip a Black Mage's Rod this turn. Oh, that's probably better anyway. Land! Okay, equip the Rod would have been better. And we'd have to fight through this land chunk at some point either way. We could have like Ice Magic to bounce one of my creatures, I guess. It's a 3/4 double strike attack in here. They can't kill it without a trick. Even if they block with the whole board. Yep, just get a chump. Now the Rama sacks itself. Squall, no. Don't look at Squall like that. Don't highlight Squall. I'm Squall's #1 fan. Look at the sleeves. Can't do this to me. Okay, that's a Call to Mountain Choke, but that doesn't kill Squall. Alright, well. I don't want to give them a 1/1, just giving them a chump is just bad. Giving them mana is bad too, because they have 6 mana spells to get to. Yeah, Stiltskin's just not doing anything. Goodbye, Chocobo. We're gonna kill a lot of Chocobos here. A rat. We did have an opportunity to pick up an Orin's Inspiration, and that actually looks great here. Uh-oh, bomb rare. Bomb rare alert. Astrologian's Planisphere? Astrologian's Planisphere? +1/+1 counter for every non-creature spell and every 3rd card drawn. Basically, +1/+1 counter for every non-creature spell. It's just mega prowess. And the blue-red decks are really good at triggering prowess. Oh, come on, deck. Come on, deck. If I go wide, they eat Squall. Probably cast an instant and eat Stiltskin. Take 6, 7, 8, 9. We're still not there. So we kill a 1/1. They move the equipment to the Sentinel. So they just need to play 1 spell to get the Sentinel big enough. I probably have to start giving them tap treasures, which again does not feel great. They have a bunch of cards in hand, 6 mana cards, 4 mana cards in grave. Not tap treasures, tapped lands. Yeah, mana is just legitimately valuable to our opponent here. Even if they had like 20 lands on board, more lands would be valuable. And obviously chump blockers are valuable. That buys them like a whole nother turn. If we just keep attacking with one creature, which is kind of what Squall wants us to be doing. Suplex the Rod. Okay. Well, we draw one. That's good. I guess that stops Squall from sending into the Sentinel. Resentful Revelation's a great one. Stiltskin did the thing. We drew one card. MVP. Draw removal for Sentinel, we win. So they're holding up a counter. Counter unless we pay 11 if it's the uncommon. If they got 2 copies of Swallow by Leviathan, that would be incredible. Hopefully it's just Syncopate, which doesn't really do anything. Double checking here. Yeah, we only have 3 infantries, so pass the turn. Hit another land. All right, Revelation, dig us out of this nonsense. Revelation, don't give me 3 freaking spells. Said I'm milling 2 spells. That's not what you're supposed to do. Moogle can get something out of graveyard too, but I think all of my 2 mana value or less artifacts are in exile or on the board. Yeah, so Moogle's just a 3/2 flyer. But a flyer is still a thing. A flyer is still real. I guess I get to get a free chump attack with the infantries this turn then. Yeah, that's the pick. So, Squall would trade into Sentinel. So instead, because I have the Moogle to pick up an artifact now, we send the squad in and hope they kill an infantry. If they kill a rat, I get a treasure, and I can give them a treasure with Stiltskin. So I think that they would naturally want to just kill an infantry here. So we'll maximize the output by attacking with everybody else as well. Yeah, maximum value off this swing. They're down to 4 now. Play the untapped land to help pay for Syncopates. Play the Moogle. It's another Swallow by Leviathan. Yeah, that's pretty lucky. Double of the same premium uncommon. We are still very, very winning on board here, though. They're at 4 life. We have a massive board. We can probably just attack all for lethal next turn. It's ya boy, the Hagen. Equip them. Flashback. Kind of a bold equip here. If they didn't equip, they could have played another creature. Their 6 mana flashback stuff. Okay. We're so close to lethal here. I really, really want to draw spells, so the Stiltskin lands away at this point. Which could come back to bite us if the game goes long, but I think we're at the point where it's very unlikely to go much longer, so we just need to find a spell or 2 to wrap up this lethal this turn. Good lord. Incredible draws, incredible. Cornered by Black Mages is also an incredible draw, at least. But wow, that fire magic goes hard. Well, we wiped their whole board. Okay. They have a whole bunch of creatures in grave they can play here. And the extra land I gave them is gonna haunt me a little. Although I suppose if I didn't give them that land, I would not have cast Chocomog and Cornered by Black Mages. It would have just only been one of the two. So probably actually worth it here. Even though they get this extra mana. I'm guessing they're making the 5/5. Yeah. It's the only thing that makes sense to me here. Prompto gives the treasure. So they have 2 mana up. Oh boy. What do you got for me, Revelation? Fight on. Pick up a delivery Moogle. Delivery Moogle. Delivery Moogle? The only card I really want here? Man, my fleshy creatures aren't that good. It's like the equipment that I kind of care about. So delivery Moogle and a rat. I have the mana to pay for a Syncopate for 1 right now. They're at 3. Phyton puts them to 2. Okay. If I attack with Chocomog, I trade into the 5/5, get that out of here. But then Prompto is going to be too big for Squall. But I guess trading into the 5/5, I get to pick up the Chocomog. Yeah, that's the play. Pick up Chocomog and the Moogle. Chocomog, delivery Moogle. And I have the treasure for the Syncopate, if they have that. And what can the Moogle pick up? Probably just the Magitech infantry. Yeah, there's one of 3 different Magitech infantries as the option. Uh-oh. Blazing Bomb with the Planisphere goes real hard. They can easily get that to the 4 power to blow up Squall. I got 9 cards left. What do I even have left in the deck? Sephiroth's Intervention. That's obviously an incredible draw. That's got to be the best one. My second Squall is still in there. The Flying Cat. That would be a really good one. And then a Rat and a Steiner and like 5 lands. 4 lands. Well, there's one of the 4 lands, so now there's only 3 left out of 8. Oh. Man. I wish I had a non-creature artifact to get the Black Mage ping here, but I don't. Not that Delivery Moogle can pick up. They exiled the one in my deck, the Black Mage's Rod. Is it crazy to send Squall in and trade into Prompto? I have another Squall in the deck. Get that out of here. They move the Planisphere to like a Chocobo. They bomb the Moogle, but then I have a potential go wide kill off like Sephiroth's Intervention. Especially with the Wizard ping. I kind of still have the Sephiroth's Intervention kill whether or not I trade into Prompto here, so I think I'm just chilling. Emperor of Palamecia. Well, I guess they could mill out too. They have to kill me eventually. I probably should have attacked with Squall for that. They're less likely to be able to kill me. Palamisi is their best threat to actually kill me. Because once they flip, it's just 1,000,000 damage. Okay, yeah, kill the flyer. Makes sense. I think I should have sent Squall in. Whittle down their board, make it less likely for them to find lethal before they mill themselves out. Yeah. Y'shtola? She doesn't actually do anything on their current board, but as soon as they play one creature with an enter effect, we're dead. Oh, you do not want to exile that. Oh. Alright. I guess that was kind of their best option. I mean, they could kill a Chocobo. No, I think they should just exile the Emperor. Oh, she can target herself. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just playing around like, oops, go wide lethal. But it's really just oops, Sephiroth's intervention lethal at this point. Oops, Flying Cat lethal. Those are 2 outs here. They got 4 cards left. Yeah, the Emperor is gonna kill me fast if I don't find my Sephiroth's intervention. If I find my Sephiroth's intervention, they need another huge threat to win this. Okay, that's really bad. The insta-flip here. Thanks to the Planisphere. This would be a bummer to lose, but we're gonna draw the cards in whatever order we draw the cards in. Maybe there's a way to find a couple more points of damage earlier. But it really feels like we are just dodging the relevant cards at this point. Dodging the relevant draws. And finding the filler right now. I could block with Chocomog, since it's going to sack itself in 2 turns anyway, but if I do that, I'm still at 7. If they play 2 more instant sorceries or mill them, then we just die off of the attack trigger, even if I block next turn. I would also... Oh, no, it's not based on the counters. It's based on the number in grave. Yeah, so it would have to be putting more in grave. Putting more counters on with the Planisphere doesn't change that. Oh, they need removal now. They need another removal spell in their last 4 cards. I guess last 5, the card in hand could work. If it is the removal. They have a good block for Squall. Not particularly, actually. Let's kill a Chocobo, I guess. Less likely to die to go wide. Alright, the 1/1, that works too. Chump with Chocomog this turn. Can they kill this cat? It was one of our two outs, the cat and the Sephiroth intervention. Still one intervention these next 6. Play a land. You know, try to just lethal us here. If they've got removal, they've got it. Either way, whether they lethal us this turn or just stop us from killing them with the cat. They're going to be 1 damage off where they need to be. Oh, but it is big enough. I have to block with the cat. But then Squall kills them if they don't have another creature in hand, I guess. Is there any way here to not lose a one of these creatures? No, all these creatures are gonna die anyway. But yeah, I guess the Squall attack was exactly aggressive enough that I lose the flyer here if they go full wide. That's rough. And then Y'shtola untaps. Oh my god. That was like the one turn I needed to not attack with Squall. That's a bummer and a half. My thought process here was like, if they have removal, yeah, they lethal me here, but if they have removal, I lose anyway because they kill the flyer. Did not realize this was an exactly aggressive enough attack that even without removal, I would have to lose the cat. Because I think I was just thinking of these as 2/2s. God dang it, I thought I had one more than I did. Yeah, I mean, this is the best block period, is it not? Yeah, that's all I can do. Bummer. Now I lose unless I hit Sephiroth's intervention now. If they have another creature, I lose it with Sephiroth's intervention. Alright, she could exile herself too. Y'shtola's dumb, man. Wow. Wow. Alright, well. I can't believe that one attack costs me the game here. Magic is a tilting game sometimes, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Blow that up, I'm at 3. They just equip there and I'm dead still. I guess unless they chump here and then just don't equip Prompto. But I still lose. They did not equip Prompto. Oh, really? That was literally like the exact same kind of punt I made, but they don't get punished. God dang it. It was like such just a little thing of like, yeah, you should move the equipment there. But then they just naturally draw Syncopate so they're not punished. Oh, that's so tilting. Because if they did not draw Syncopate there, we blow that up. They could poke for 2, so they can't poke us anymore. So they just equip Prompto, and then I could attack with Squall and force the trade. And then they're at 2 cards in library, needing to draw another threat to kill us in the next 2 turns. Man. One single Squall attack loses us that game. Well played from our opponent, well played, but certainly a frustrating game for us. 2-1 heading into game 4. Here we are for game number 4. 2-1 right now. Reasonable opening hand here. Doesn't start till turn 3, but that's fine on the play. There's a Zac from our opponent. Zac is very annoying, so I don't mind just forcing the Zac here. That said, Squall's a lot better when you already have a creature down, so I think I need to start with Paladin's Arms so I get a double strike attack the turn that I cast Squall. Lock Coal. We still attack into that while they don't have mana up. Hit for 6. It's probably just going to crack back for 2 here and gain the life. Our opponent's on blue, white, and black here. Splashing around. Corner. Get rid of Zac. Don't have to worry about the 3/4 Death Touch lifelink here. Indestructibly blocking and gaining life, eating my creature. Cool. It's got to be a combat trick here. Most combat tricks would be a trade. I guess if it is the uncommon hexproof indestructible trick, they win that fight. Squall is the exact same amount of damage as the 3/2, so we're just setting the 3/2 anyway. So if it is the trick, we get to keep the better creature. It's just removal. Destroy a tapped creature. Yes. Alright, not bad for us. And here's Magitech Infantry, pass. Send in the Lock Coal, we don't have good blocks. They get to gain the life, draw a card, discard a card, do some digging. Ultima, come on. That's annoying. The Paladin's Arms. We could go Rat Steiner, that might be better. But any land, we can go these two together. Still. Paladin's Arms. Ooh, Circle of Power. Yeah, I think Rat Steiner would have been better. I mean, neither of those would get in right now regardless. Well, actually, when you put it like that, Paladin's Arms did play better, because I would have no attacks doing it the other way this turn. But here I do. Cool. Draw a couple. Hey, Squall number 2. Coming in, Sagan. An Adelbert of their own. That is not good for me. Okay, Sephiroth is even worse for me. Dax the Hagen, but that's the best card in the whole set. Why would you do that? We're gonna hit them with that Final Fantasy Rebirth multiverse nonsense. Other Sephiroth kills this Sephiroth. Yeah, and now Adelbert is just the biggest problem in the universe. Adelbert for Adelbert, perfectly balanced trade. Chocomog for Adelbert's probably better for me. But I can play Adelbert as well, so that I can still trade through removal. Oh, good lord. This is all Sephiroth's fault. Because I can't not kill Sephiroth. Oh, man. Awesome. Well, this game was pretty free for our opponent. Wow. I need 1,000,000 here. But I get to resurrect 2 things if I don't trade off right now. They have double restoration magic? You can't be serious. 1 white mana instant here? If they have double restoration magic, I can't win period, so I'm not playing around it. The 1 white mana sorcery speed thing? I don't know what's holding during their turn. They have something. Okay. They do not have double restoration magic. Chocomog's gonna die anyway. And Rat gives me a good thing when it dies. Treasure could be relevant here. We have 4 mana equip abilities, multiple of them on the board already. 3 mana infantry activations. Speaking of 3 mana infantry activations, I think I'm activating this in my upkeep before I draw. To make sure I don't top deck the 3rd infantry. Yeah, I've got a good chunk of mana and another treasure, so we'll do that. Just draw land anyway. If I go wide, they've got 1/3/3 blocker. They could crew this and have 1/2/3 blocker instead. We actually go wide here. More likely to actually hit them this way. There's only one card in our grave for Squall regardless, so we just need to push damage now. Cool. They're down to 8. We are taking 2 in the sky, basically no matter what, if they want to. Wow, I was really not expecting that. Really not expecting that. I'm surprised they didn't go for the attack without any like tricks for Edelbert there. I'm surprised they didn't go for that attack on the earlier turn where our only way to kill it was losing our whole board. Squall in the arms. Because their block was just, without a trick, just not going to do anything against the Paladin's Arms Squall anyway. That was really the turning point of the game. The fact that we got to equip all the Paladin's Arms, send in the Squall, and they just had this Edelbert held up that doesn't even block anyway. I think if they sent it instead, obviously we'd be at a lower life total, because I would not have gone for the double block, or I would have gone for the double block and then just be top decking. I think that was the real turning point of the game there. That was terrifying stuff from our opponent. They even had a Moogle's Valor they didn't end up casting. That is a strong deck over there. There is turning Sephiroth, Moogle's Valor. Yeah, Sephiroth and Edelbert hitting the board in the same turn, that was some devastating stuff there, but we did manage to barely make it through that, and we are 3-1 now heading into Game 5. Alright, here we are for Game 5. Forced mulligan on this one. And this is a pretty good 6-card hand if we can draw the lands. I think we ditched Stiltskin. That card's just not been particularly impressive. And we've got a good curve infantry dire at Paladin's Arms Squall. Although I'll probably just activate infantry on 3 instead if we make it there. Playing against a red deck. Not gonna make it there. Thunder Magic on the infantry immediately. Uh-oh, worst draw on the deck. Legend Rule. Legend Rule goes hard. Best draw on the deck. Now the best draw on the deck is a swamp. Let's see if we can't do it 2 for 2. Swamp, swamp, swamp. Well, there's like 7 swamps in here, so 7 other swamps. God dang it, I shouldn't have opened my big mouth. Go, team, go. Come on, Princess of Dalmasca. Retrieve the Esper. That's very good with Shentharo. Draw the card. Please jam. Please attack. No. Alright, well that's good. Do do do. Do 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 do. Yeah. I have like 6 artifacts left in the deck right now. This time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I lied. I have 4. Ooh. They're in a bad spot no matter what. They just have to chump, pretty much. Thunder Magic Squall. Tap out, spend all your mana just to kill Squall. Uh-oh, that's not doing that. That's a scary card. That's a spooky, scary card that I don't appreciate. So 4 mana value spells draw 2. Every non-creature spell makes a 1/1. That is chump blockers for days against Squall. I'm going to play Infantry and tutor the other so that Ash is more likely to hit more relevant cards, I think. Ash is then more likely to hit Paladin's Arms and Black Mage's Rod. Although I guess I just put 5 non-artifact cards on the bottom here. There's a Stiltskin and then 5 non-artifacts, so it might be more relevant to not shuffle right now? Hard to say. Oh my god. Now it's definitely better to not shuffle, but I also can't just, like, not play the infantry and get the last one. Now there's 10 non-artifacts. The whole bottom half of my deck is no artifacts. All 3 are in the top here. Hey. But I'm just going to shuffle all those non-artifacts back up top. Yeah, this is bad. Bad. For 5 if I attack all, it's not worth it still. Those are very good cards to put on the bottom, at least. 4 lands, 1 spell. Please just removal spell Squall, I'm begging you. Tella is just like... Tella's just fantastic against Squall, just like the Stone Cold blank. Just like, alright, I'll get a chump blocker and draw 2 like every turn, so I'm just gonna keep getting more and more and more ahead, chumping the double strike every turn. Tella is very good against our deck. Oh boy. Yeah, and just incredible with Retrieve the Esper. 5,000 blockers here. We need to hit a flyer. Well, now they got a removal spell for the first flyer. It's got our cat and our Moogle. Or we just needed removal spell for Tella a lot sooner. If I find it now, it's still not particularly great. It's definitely one of our better draws to hit removal here, but... Chocomog would have been lethal earlier, but... Not after they just made 4 creatures 1 turn. Because Tella is the Stone Cold nuts. If anybody has ever wondered in Final Fantasy lore who would win, Squall or Tella, it is definitely Tella according to Magic the Gathering. It's been like a draw 6, make like 4 1/1s. Draw 2 more. It's like draw 8 now. Get another 1/1. Yeah, I mean, honestly, they have 20 cards left, so they're also not going to mill. In the interest of time, I think I'm going to scoop here. Our only out is our flyers, and we only have 2 in the whole deck. They're drawing 2 extra cards all the time. The odds of them not just having 2 removal spells to kill flyers is astronomically low. Okay, that was maybe the only draw in the whole deck that would get me to not scoop right now. That's like the only draw in the deck that I'm like, okay, I guess I'll play it on another turn or two. But, I mean, Tella was like an 8 for 1 at this point. We're so behind. Somebody with 3 power. So probably want to do it with the one that's naturally a 1/1. What do you got with your full grip of 7? You got double Shintaro? I thought I killed one earlier. I did. That is an incredible blue-red deck. Yikes. Oh, the sorcerer schemes too. Okay. Draw a card plus get the instant sorcery back twice in a row. Miss Shantado on board. Yeah, no, I mean this is the magical Christmas Land blue-red deck. And it's just wide open in the pod, and it is the strongest deck in the format. Yeah. That's more than enough. We do not have outs from there. Even if we hit flyers, they have more than enough removal with the schemes and all the card draw that's still going on. So we'll move on in the interest of time. 3-2 heading into game 6. All right, here we are for game number 6. Solid start. No, we drew the 1 drop on turn 2. Still fine though, because we got 2 drops here, so we get to go double spell on turn 3. Start with the rat, because I care less if it dies. If they play like a 2/2 of their own, get to trade this off freely. In this exact scenario, it would have played better to play Adelbert first to gain some life off of the swing, but I wanted to play the creature that was just a better card to trade off. I think most scenarios, it's pretty likely to see some 2-mana 2/2 like White Mage's Staff or something. Maybe the Sage's Newliths. Delivery Moogle. Cool card. Let's play a Squall and gain 1,000,000 life. Alternatively, I don't think they actually want to block right now because they have a 3/2 flyer. They trade down. So Squall attack with Adelbert is hit for 4, gain 4. I could also just hit for 5 and play Moogle, which feels better. Okay, they do want to trade. That's also fine. Get that flyer out of here. Drop our own. Especially with the fight on as the draw there. It's super fine to be trading creatures off right now as we push damage in. Lionheart, you. That's super good against the Moogle here. Okay. Let's just certainly Squall now. Got them down to 11. Here's Stiltskin. There's the cat, 3/3 Flying Vigilance. Make it a 5/4. Okay. They've got a 1 blue mana spell. Oh god, they got Magic Damper here. Still kill the cat. If I Rod on Squall and attack, 4/4 double strike, they Magic Damper and block. It's a trade between Squall and the cat if they have Magic Damper. Alternatively, if I don't want to lose Squall here, I just send in a 2/2 and get that to trade into the Magic Damper. And then I fight on during their end step. Or just right now. I guess I just do this. Get the Magic Damper out of the way. Or hit for 4, either's fine with me. I think I'm waiting to cast Fight On until their end step. That does give them an opportunity to counter it, but if they go for removal, then I can pick up a better card potentially. Plus I can activate Infantry if I don't need to do it. Which I might not. If they play no more creatures, maybe just Infantry go wide is the way to try to get the kill. There's a lot of ways to do this here. Combat tutorial, yep. Scorpion Sentinel, 4/4 on the ground. Hit us in the sky. Seven here. I think it's actually just better to put somebody immediately on board than fight on right now. I need to have a 3-power attacker at least. They are forced to chump at this point, or trade at this point. Or they die to a Black Mage's Rod ping. Block, 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 block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, it's just still solo attack here. Keep eating blockers. Cool, we'll eat a Sentinel. Miss a ping here if I don't just fight on right now. I think I want a Paladin's Arms. Maybe I should have just main phase 1 to Paladin's Arms. Dovin's Veto? That's not a syncopate. Rough. Could have paid for syncopate with the treasure. But they had the super rare counter. Down to 10. Ash's super mid draw. Our flyers and our intervention are the best draws here. I guess I can fight on Chocomoog. No, that's not Chocomog, it's Delivery Moogle. To chump the cat. But they've got a million open mana in their blue deck here. Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum. Guess I don't have attacks against the 5 toughness. Without a re-equip pre-combat against that. Seems good. I got that and a counterspell here. Kind of feels like it. We'll see. Maybe not. Double removal? They only have one infantry in their deck, by the way. They never activated it. Can I Ultima or something? Only got one artifact out now. Down to 4 or 5 stats. Block there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see what the trick is here. We still keep a decent board. Gain a tiny bit of life. It's nothing, just absolute flood from our opponent. Pretty lucky ending to that game, but we'll take it. That is 4-2 heading into game 7. Alright, here we are for game 7. With a 1, 2, 3 curve out. Only risk in this hand is it could definitely flood out. Starting with a 4 lander right off the bat. Playing against another blue-white deck. There's the new list to start them off. Would you like a Stilt Skin? Yes. I like any trade when I've got Fight On stuck in my hand. So we need to make sure if I do flood out, which I'm currently doing, we hit land 5 here, that we still have castable spells. And if I don't have 2 creatures in grave for Fight On, that is not exactly a castable spell. Play my own cats, we just kind of stare at each other, even though that's a 2/4. If they play another artifact, we're going to die real fast. This card is busted with 2 artifacts out, but we'll see. Oh, Lord. Delivery Moogle for another flyer, even if I kill the first one. And that guarantees the next artifact for them to get the +2/+0 Vigilance. 3/3 Flying Vigilance over there. Well, here's our own first artifact of 2 for our cat. Paladin's Arm is also a great equipment to slap onto the cat. Magitech Infantry, I think, is the best draw on the deck now. If we can play Magitech Infantry and equip the cat. And we've got 3 copies of Infantry, so it's possible. And we'll need to hit it fast, because we're already taking 1,000,000 damage. Squalls, far from the best draw in the deck, but far from the worst. Actually incredibly mid on this board. Just play Squall and attack with a 3/2, I guess. Yeah, we're not really in a position to be racing. And if we were, they have plenty of creatures to chump after the flying damage. Yeah, I need removal, or I need a way to buff this cat, and I need it yesterday. So this will just be a quick loss here. Yep, blue-white flyers. Absolute limited classic. Pretty great in every set. And we're going to die to it. We don't have enough removal in our deck. We're not drawn into it here. Yeah, I mean, I kill one flyer and die to the rest incredibly quickly. Did not hit a second artifact either, which is obviously really bad. Tiniest chance in the world they trade one of their flyers into Squall here. I highly doubt it, but we'll see. Nope, just chump. Fair enough. My mana off from playing a spell and re-equipping the arms, which is quite bad. I don't get to fight on after the cat dies in a potential trade or something here. Oh lord, they hit land 7 for Sentinel. It's also just jamming as a 5/5 with a staff on it if they want. But they'll staff up the cat so it can attack into our cats. Wow. Yeah, brutal game. Incredible stuff from our opponent. Like, I could trade here and take 9 and die. This game ended when the hands were drawn. There was no way to play this one out. One flyer is not enough. All right, well, 4 and 3 will be the record today, which is what I predicted right when we built the deck. So I guess that's fine overall. But some of those losses were devastating stuff. Obviously, that game was just unwinnable. Too much evasive damage coming in, and then the blue-red deck was insane from our opponent. Really, the first loss was the roughest one, though. Just that one Squall attack coming back to bite us so much. But this was still a fun draft. Still a pretty solid deck here. I made, again, several choices that were just fun, like taking the 2 more Squalls instead of better cards like Dragoon's Lance. I think, honestly, Dragoon's Lance is a strong enough card with great Moogle synergies and getting more flying threats in here that one pick, if we took the Lance over the Squall, would probably lead us to like 5 and 3 instead of 4 3. Like that, it's that much of a buff in our deck's quality here. And then, taking something better over the other Squall, I think we could have, if I didn't go for the fun picks, had a really, really solid deck. Definitely a 7-win contender here, but went for some goofy picks, lowered the quality of the deck a little bit, still had a decent time here at 4 and 3, pretty much about where I expected things to go. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm send some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, and check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.